Good morning, everybody. So Rafiq Muhammad asked me to do a tutorial on the handstand press, or the L-sit to L-sit to handstand press as well. So first off, I gotta say that the L-sit to the handstand press has about 4 different parts in it that you have to get really good at before you attempt it. As with anything calisthenics, always go back to your basics. Your push-ups, your pull-ups, your sit-ups, your squats, things like that. Get really good at all those until they're so easy that they're boring. And then start progressing into the harder things like these. So the L-sit, I think, is actually kind of easy. That's just sitting on the ground, put your hands down, and then just lift yourself up and lean back a little bit to where your butt and legs are off the ground. I mean, it takes a little bit of strength in your triceps. It's another good one to get push-ups really good at first. And then the transition, you just cross your legs underneath and you go backwards and start to press upwards. For this part, you're going to want to practice doing what is called a tuck planche. And so it's easier to do all of this on bars, but I work with what I've got. So I do it all straight off the floor. All right, so the tuck planche is where you basically get into a push-up position almost with your knees up underneath you, and then you just lift your feet off the ground. You pick up your butt. So you just keep lifting your butt up in the air. And the longer you do that, the better you get at it, and eventually you'll be able to hold it. Now, after you get good at the tuck planches, which in my opinion aren't very difficult, they just work out your sides a lot. It'll make them burn for the first couple weeks or months that you're doing this, depending on how often you do it. All right, so after you get into the tuck planche, then you go into the handstand. And that's just being able to lean forward enough on your hands, pushing your head in front of your hands to where your center of gravity allows you to balance easier, and then just lifting up into the handstand. Now, the handstand is a whole thing in itself. The best way to get good at handstands, in my opinion, is starting off against a wall. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it from this far away. So the wall is right here. You're just going to lift up into a handstand here, and you're just going to kick your legs. Well, make sure you got your arms locked first, and then you're just going to kick your legs up until you put your feet on the wall. And then as you're doing this, you're going to start to try to find your balance points and learn how to tip back and forth, because you got to be able to push both directions. So to push downwards and away from the wall, you're going to flex your fingers and press with your fingers like you're grabbing something really, really hard once you get your feet straight above you. And then to go backwards the opposite direction, you relax the fingers and then press with your palms and push your head farther in front of your hands. And it'll tip you forwards. And then you just get better at tipping back and forth over and over and over, and you'll eventually be able to stand on your hands. For me, I like to be able to walk on my hands as well. So it gives you a little bit of extra balance, being able to move your hands and not fall over. So after you get good at being able to hold yourself upright, I practice just moving around every once in a while, lean and then walk. So the L-sit to the handstand press is just a combination of all the above, and I'll just demonstrate it once. So here we go. L-sit, leaning back into it, crossing the legs underneath, leaning forward on my hands, and then pressing up into a handstand. So there you go. Honestly, the more that you practice this, the better you'll get, and it really isn't as difficult as most people like to think it is. If you're practicing all of these different moves 10 times a day, every single day, you'll have this down in less than 6 months. So yeah, good luck, be safe, listen to your body. Just, if one muscle says it's had enough, give it a break. And always go back to the basics. Remember, there's push-ups and everything, it just changes it all. So have a good day.